What's up, everybody? My name is Luigi Gonzales, and I'm a fourth-year medical student. And right now, I'm near the end of my interview season. So today is actually going to be my last interview of the whole season, unless there's like some late last-second interviews that come trickling in. But yeah, today I have 2 interviews lined up. For those of you guys that may not know, I'm applying to physical medicine and rehabilitation residency, which means that sometimes some programs have 3 years of residency for pm&r, and then that means that I'll have to do 1 year of internal medicine first before I do those 3 years of pm&r. But for the most part, most of the programs that I've been interviewing with are actually 4-year programs. So once I apply, if I match at their program, I don't need to worry about a preliminary internal medicine year, which is actually pretty nice. So for today, I have 2 pm&r program interviews. Fortunately for one of them, it's a much quicker interview, but kind of scarier because it's like a whole panel over one 30-minute session. And the other one is much longer, where it's a series of, I believe, 5 interviews. And each interviewer, it's going to be a one-on-one interaction, but each one will take about 20 minutes. So definitely will take much more time, but less stressful because it's a one-on-one rather than me talking to a panel of people. So yeah, for today, it's already kind of in the late morning. I think it's around 11 right now. My first interview is going to start at 12:30. So right now I'm just going to spend some time prepping. I already was able to do a lot of my morning routine to kind of help me get my day started. My morning routine usually consists of me going to the gym if I have the energy to do it. Fortunately, today I was able to get some cardio in, get on the treadmill for a little bit while watching some shows. And then I also like to go to the jacuzzi and just relax there after a workout, just so, like I get some more sweating in. And the last thing that I like to do in the morning is I don't really eat breakfast, but, I make sure that my dog and my bunnies get their breakfast and just, sit around, relax, spend some time with my dog. But since today's interview day, I'll also spend some time preparing for interviews, and I'm going to do a little bit more of that now before I get changed. So in terms of preparing for interviews, what I usually do is it actually starts the night before. The night before, I start looking into the programs. And then the morning of is when I kind of review more of stuff about me, because the way that I see it, an interview is the program getting to know you, you getting to know the program, and then both of you trying to see how well you'd fit together. So it involves you researching the program. It involves you getting to know yourself better, if that makes sense. And just kind of getting that picture of how will the program help you and how will you be able to contribute to the program. And I feel like once you're able to think all of that through and actually communicate that to the program during an interview, that makes you a very strong applicant and definitely somebody that'll stick in their minds much more strongly and hopefully get you on that rank list so that in March, when the time comes, you end up at a program that you want to. But yeah, so last night I was able to look into the programs. Today, I'm reviewing a lot of the questions that are more commonly asked. Like there's the basics, tell me about yourself, why this program, why this specialty, and a lot more kind of get to know you questions. So a lot of situational questions that you might never know what the exact situation might be. But in the field of pm&r, it's a lot of teamwork. So a lot of the questions are usually based off of how well do you work with people? Is there a time when like you had to tell somebody that they're doing it wrong? How would you handle that? A difficult teamwork situation, questions like that. So I try my best to kind of predict the kind of questions they'll ask. And, it's never going to be 100% correct based on what I think the questions will be. But preparing and practicing talking to myself and talking out my thoughts is a good way to do well on the interview. So that's what I'm going to do for the rest of the morning until I start my first interview. And again, that one's just a 30-minute interview, so not too stressed out about that one. And yeah, honestly, after that one, looking forward to getting some lunch because my break in between that interview and my next one is only around 45 minutes, so I'll have to eat lunch real quick. But yeah, that's a later problem. For now, I'm just gonna go ahead and review some more. All right, so it's getting close to the time of the actual interview, so I think it's time to go ahead and get dressed. Okay, all right. So this is the interview setup. This is kind of what I opened the video up with. So, I think later on I'm gonna make a video just covering how I have my setup figured out, because I'm lucky enough to have been doing YouTube, which means that I have a nice camera that I can use as like my camera for all of those like Zoom calls or whatever software they use to do the interviews. But yeah, I'll run you guys through my whole setup later on in another video. But as of right now, my interview is about to start in around 15-ish minutes. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to get to it. This is the last interview of the season and just ready to get it done. And I mentioned earlier, there's only a quick little break in between both interviews. So I'll catch you guys at the end of the second interview just to do a quick little recap about how it went, how I felt. So I'll see you guys then. All right. So we're finally done with all the interviews. 2 interviews in one day is a lot, especially since the second one is like a more longer format where, yeah, there's I think 6 different people that I met and talked with one-on-one. That was really tiring. But overall, I think I'll take today as a win. It felt good. I felt comfortable talking during the interviews. I feel like, not really like saying what people want to hear, but I was being very genuine with my answers, and it just ended up that the people that I was talking with like enjoyed my answers. So that's a very big bonus right there. But yeah, the hard part about interviewing for me is at the end of each interview, you have to think like, hey, where is this going to end up in my overall rank list of what programs, like I want to apply to, and in what order do I want to get there. But the hard part is that after each interview, because I did so much research on each program, I talked to the people, I show my best self to the people, but then on the other side, the program itself is also showing its best self to me. All the interviewers are super nice. They're all talking about like what the great parts of their program is. They ask me what I'm looking for and they tell me how they can provide it. It's hard to, at the end of the day, just think like, okay, like this program will go in this number and then this other program will go in this number, because after each interview, I feel like each program is like, wow, like this program is amazing and I can definitely see myself doing well in this program. So, it's going to be tough by the time February or early or mid-February hits, and we're gonna have to start finalizing our rank list by March, I think. But that's a future me problem. In the meantime, right now, I feel like I just need to take a break from all this just for a little bit, because after each interview, you're supposed to send thank you letters. Not really supposed to, but me personally, I like to send out thank you letters just in case there's some conversations that I didn't finish, because the time constraints during the interview itself, you can finish through emails online. But then some programs are saying that, hey, we don't want communication after the interview. So you just have to make sure that the program that you're going to send an email to clarifies if they're okay with emails being sent out, or if they don't want any emails, because that could look bad on you for not reading instructions. So for me, I'm going to have to crank out those emails in a bit. Probably going to do that after I get some food. And then in a couple of hours, I still have my research lab meeting. And I think that'll be the end of the day for me. So yeah, today's been a really long day, and I'm just excited to have more time to relax tomorrow, since I am on a very chill rotation right now. So I can definitely afford to relax later on. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me on this interview day. I think this is my last interview of the season. I'm not going to say I hope, because, more interviews could be a good sign that another program is interested in me, even though it's later in the season. But for the time being, I'm not aware of any more interviews later on. So as of right now, I'm going to say that this is the end. And it's been a fun ride, and I can't wait to show you guys my interview setup and let you guys know where I match in a couple of months. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.